What's up, it's Nez, and welcome back to The Letter, everyone! Last episode, we confirmed that Luke is the worst trash of all for cheating on our dear waifu Hannah. But good things have arisen because our ship is finally sailing with Zack and Hannah. Good things are about to come if she doesn't die, or Zack doesn't die, or if we don't all get killed by the ghost. But whatever. The next day. I wish the same can be said about what I'm about to do. What are you about to do, Hannah? Simple isn't the adjective I will use to describe this task at hand. Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate? And that, no, this is not a divorce. What? It's not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there. But still, how am I even to complain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Yeah, maybe we just don't tell him until he's dead. Yes, we'll get the ghost to kill him. Solves all our problems. Cutting too deeply into my sausages, I open my mouth to excuse myself. That is until I spy Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He has been silent all the while, chin in his hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good. But we got to dance with Zack, so that was more good than harm.
Luke?
Hello?
I think we need a bit of a break.
Yes we do, you fuck.
You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while.
How is he not blowing his shit?
In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime, but I won't be moving out right away, so that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
Well, it seems like Luke had the same idea. Something's going on here. It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals. You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hannah.
What? What is it about then?
Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair and just stops short of putting his feet up on the table. I suspect he's wanting some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hands.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen. Will you want me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot? Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
Unless it was true.
I am having a sulk because you believe her.
Really?
You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell right?
Well, we wouldn't come to this conclusion if we didn't believe her.
Because believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
Okay, but no, they probably did fuck. Maybe he didn't plan for the baby though.
Sure, whatever you say.
Uh-huh. His mouth draws into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the silence that follows feels oppressive. It only emphasizes the wall that has been built by my obedience and his hubris. And it looms between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps?
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? This also happens during Halloween?
I'll go and inform the staff of this.
The cliches in this game just keep increasing and increasing. He only nods. And I'll be lying if I said that didn't disappoint me. I expected more resistance. The man could be stubborn as a mule if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in a divorce, a thing we both surely wish to avoid, we can still leave on amicable terms. There's no point in making a mountain out of a molehill.
What are you still doing here?
Ah, my fuck.
Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you? Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Go ahead. And do nothing. There isn't much to do, it seems, whenever I step to the plate and try to take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already handled by someone hired specifically for that job. And with Johans overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation, because all it takes is a word from one of the senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here a few days ago may have very well been a chore that took the most effort from me. And that didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hannah, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere.
A haunted one.
Good idea. Great plan.
Plan for your husband's death. There are no dishes to set aside or busy myself with. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating cake is supposed to be my next plan. Alas, there isn't even one to finish off, and I don't really know what brought me to the kitchen in the first place. Yeah, let's not go anywhere near the wine cellar, please. It's not like I'm craving anything else, nor do I have any unfinished business left here. But there's a calling in this room. Speaking of calling, why not do just that? Oh god. Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. With how cut off from the rest of Luxborn the mansion is and how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution's supposed to be our mobiles, though it isn't much considering how spotty the signal is in this area. It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is, and I'm pretty sure you won't get any bars in the cellar, so don't think about it. It takes a bit, as I said it would. I have to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. Can we call Zach? She who must not be named is certainly off the list. Yeah, we can't call Rochelle. That doesn't leave much in the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour. But soon enough, I manage and the call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here.
Becca?
Who's this?
Hi, Becky.
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah?
Exactly,
Wait,
right?
How did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime.
Have a slumber party, talk about boys, like Zach, and what's his name? The fucker Ash? Yes, Ash.
Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Oh, they might be doing worse things.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually. Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened.
And also we had a little alone time with Zach.
But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff. Is there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving.
Can you give us Zach's number, please?
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well.
Can we do it ourselves?
He was really kind and wonderful.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Predictable cliches.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two are on a first-name basis and all.
Well, it seems Becca's noticed.
So, his number, right, it's...
Oh my god, really? Fuck you! Fuck you, Ghost! You just had to cock-block the call. The call starts to go static, much to my frustration. A strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words, too. I can barely understand what she's saying. And the line completely dies. I can feel a headache coming along. It's just building up, starting from a light throbbing on one side of my head. The static is gone, and that helps a lot. But there is still that incessant, horrible clicking. Yeah, that's not coming from the phone. Again and again and again. Which doesn't make sense, the mobile's turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? Looking about, I can't help but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch leading into the wine cellar once more. That's when the clicking stops, and I hear that crying, that familiar crying from before. What happened the other day, when I was told that nobody should have been down there? I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that when I'm looking at the very same thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody is crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. They might have forgotten to lock it with the party going on.
This again? If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
You know, seriously, Hannah, we should just get out of this fucking mansion and live our happy life with Zach. Oh, god damn it, no! No! Don't let this happen to our waifu, no! This was a dream! True enough, all it takes is a bit of a pull to open the hatch. As I look down to the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It isn't just a sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness, and the crying, the creepy ghosts, and the fact that we're about to die. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. Yes, we can get it with the foreshadowing, just do it already, please. The cries drown beneath the shrieks that start echoing in my head, high and shrill like nails being dragged across a chalkboard. They're all screaming, shouting at me. And I can just feel her rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down and crush me in the very depths of the darkness until there is nothing left of me. The deep abyss waits for me. For my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. Uh-oh. There's a rope around my neck and I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. And they're still screaming. I'm screaming. Though it is not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat like putrid bile. I choke and gag, yet I scream and shriek all the time. Is this where our waifu dies? And I'm me, but not me. What? Resist? Resist? What? Stab! What? Oh. I accidentally skipped the QTE. Okay. It pushes me down on my knees before I'm prone and vulnerable on my stomach. It makes me tumble and I can just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death. And I'm not dying. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hannah? Hannah, what is going on in here? Why are you?
Prince.
What? Prince? Seeing Luke, something snaps back, and I'm able to take a gasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name if the pain did not still rack my body. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms. He tries to get me up to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not thrashing on the floor. I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet's on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still, so I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my own tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A coughing racks my body, now that I don't feel like choking. And it feels all so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know.
The fucking ghost. The fucking ghost!
I'm so sorry.
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
So should we be empathizing with Luke now? Well, that was the end of that chapter. It's a good thing that Hannah didn't die, but we're somewhat in the darkness again. At least we're playing Zack now. I hear some weird humming. The pleasant aroma hits me long before I cross the threshold. Faint, but light and warm. A reminder of what home is. Pa's stern but commanding gaze. Ma's tender smiles. The sunlight filtering through the eaves in the morning. And the distinct smell of cinnamon and vanilla as it drifts through the air every time something cooks from the room. The room. Our room. Ma and Pa's pride and joy. My sister and I too, eventually. But we ain't allowed here. Okay, so we actually are playing Zack. Not yet. Not until we're taller and older. Not until we've learned how to take care of ourselves and not burn our hands or reach the cupboards without having to be lifted.
But a little peek wouldn't hurt, yeah?
The floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is. The walls more foreboding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma's singing ceases, and Pa.
No, please wait.
Okay.
I'll be good. I'll sleep on time.
So Zachary has an abusive childhood.
Don't go.
Oh, is Zach left? I can't hear Pa. Okay. Not above the raucous clanging and the deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There is only the blinding fear. When my foot slips, the red sea that catches me is bitter and frigid, but the blood that drips in my hand is warm. 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 It ain't my blood. The walls stumble and everything goes silent. So Zach's dad killed his mom. It takes a few moments for everything to fall into place, for my eyes to adjust to the relative darkness of the room. Despite the pleasant chill the AC brings, my shirt is clinging tightly to me, and my blanket a tangled mess around my throat. Morning has not arrived, and yet...
Way too early for this thing, man.
Way too early. Too long. Too long since the last I've woken up drenched in my own sweat, head littered with the thoughts that are gone as soon as my eyes open. All too often, only imprints and brief images are left to haunt me for the rest of the day, or until my mind forgets about it. Egad, whichever comes first. Yet vivid or not, what little I can remember does not matter. Regardless, the desperation sticks, clawing up, pushing, urging me to relive every moment, every sensation, and... There's a twinkle in Ma's eye when she looks up from her work, flour dusting her nose and cheeks. The scent of freshly baked bread wafts from the oven as soon as Pa opens it, and the homely fragrance of honey fills the room. He reaches up to wipe the small beads of sweat away from his forehead before gesturing for me to come closer the moment he spots me on my little hiding place behind the door. I expected him to be angry, but his pat on my back when I come within his arm's reach is encouraging enough. We'll have to taste these first before we put it up for sale tomorrow. You up for it, little man? Is it good enough? A knock cuts through the air before I can answer. Sharp, heavy, demanding, familiar. So distantly familiar. Ma ushers me out of the kitchen while Pa moves to answer it. But I know what waits outside. The taste of blood in my mouth sends an unpleasant churning in my gut. Ma's apron crinkles under my tight grip. Something snaps back into place. My bed remains in an utter disarray. The walls still need a new paint job, and the wall clock ticking opposite my bed is as unsettling as ever. Ash is right. I should have already replaced that one when I had the chance.
You're no longer there, Zachary. Here and there are miles apart. Calm down. Breathe.
Breathe, Zach. Breathe. The pressure of my own fingers against my temple is a welcome sensation over the anxiety gripping me. It never really did anything to stave off the headache sure to follow after this before, but it grounds me. A little reminder that I am safe, away from the place I once called home, from Ma and Pa. The urgency with each rap that follows finally chases away the ghost threatening to hang around. I'm pretty sure there's one more ghost trying to hang around. Why anyone thinks it's a good idea to knock at someone else's door this late confuses me. Nana will chase them all away with a broom if she was here. But no matter, it's a welcome break from the thoughts about to take a morbid turn if left festering. It's probably just Ash anyway, looking for a place to crash. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not Ash. Looking for a place to crash. Wonder of wonders why he's bothering with the courtesy when he never did so before. Even with that hunch though, habit compels me to check who it is first through the peephole. Oh god. Better safe than sorry, they say. Except the person that greets me on the other side ain't him. Unless his hair grew longer overnight and he started wearing a ponytail, of course, which I highly doubt will happen anytime soon, no matter how funny that looks in my head. Is it Isabella? I waste no time opening the latches.
Isabella, it's late.
She's alive! Isabella's alive! There's something I can't quite pinpoint in her eyes when she looks up. Her face a pallid shade, shoulders tense, breathing heavy, and an uncontrollable shaking in her hands she's trying to hold back. Hide if I didn't know any better.
Hey, Zach. Sorry. I know it's weird for me to show up at this hour, but you were the closest to my office, and...
You were running away from the ghost? Good job.
Oh, no. It's perfectly fine. I'm not really working on anything right now. Do you want to come in?
Is it all right? I know you should be sleeping at this hour, but I thought... I'm sorry, I just thought...
What are friends for? You can stay over.
I have no idea why I went here. My feet just moved on their own after I got out of the office, and... Sorry.
Did the ghost follow you? Please don't tell me that the ghost followed you here. She trails off, her voice lost in the muggy night air. I wait for her to say more, but instead her only response is a downward shift of her gaze, back to her still trembling hands, as if the motion alone is enough of an explanation. A minuscule gesture. Easy to miss if one is not paying attention. But for someone who has seen the same expression on the mirror, done the same thing too many times when night terrors are inevitable, it is not.
Hey, don't worry about it. At least you not. Ash just barges in and crashes on the couch whenever he feels like it. I swear that guy is one fine hairline away from being a criminal. Besides, you already know you can count on me whenever.
Without waiting for her answer, I step away from the door and saunter over to the kitchenette. For a few good seconds, only the clinking of plates can be heard above the constant tick-tock. Late as it may be for a snack, the familiar motions keep me occupied, steering my mind away from dangerous thoughts. Isabel's company is not unwelcome either. Whatever her reasons for showing up here at such an hour doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it absolutely does. I'll be damned if I just turn her away, frazzled as she is. The door clinks shut behind her when she finally enters, feet scuffling softly against the tiled floor. In all the years I've known her, she has never once lost her ever upbeat spirit. Yet in this particular moment, as she stands in my doorway holding her arms close to herself, it's as if I'm looking at someone completely withdrawn from the person I've come to know all these years.
Do you want to drink or eat anything? I haven't restocked my food stash yet, so ingredients may be a bit limited. But I'm sure I can whip something up with what I have here.
Just water will do, please. Thanks, Zach.
What? No additional food requests? That's new. I'll put something together for you anyway.
Ask her about the ghost.
And feel free to make yourself at home. You ain't exactly a new visitor here. Although my room's not at its most presentable right now. Sorry. New freelance gigs and such. Didn't have time to fix things up here lately.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Usually she'd have something more to say about that. A quip, a witty remark to provoke a laughter or two. Nothing from her this time. Only a weak smile before she takes a seat on the couch, and a silence that stretches out until what we have left hanging feels disconcerting. Before everything turns stifling and awkward, I continue talking, if only to keep the dead air at bay. How's one supposed to keep a conversation when the person you're talking to is like this?
Anyway, gigs.
Yeah, anyway, gigs, yeah.
Can you believe this one client we got? Boss had all my schedule shoots shifted after they caught wind of this couple buying a new property. Man, must be nice to have all the money in the world. The world itself moves for you, huh?
She's curled on one side of the couch and hugging her knees close when I bring the tray carrying the sandwiches and water she requested. She starts to straighten up as I'm unloading the contents, but passes as soon as I hold up my hand in a halting gesture.
You're a guest. Didn't I say you're free to make yourself at home? Here's your water. Careful.
The tremor in her hands, though lighter now, still hasn't subsided when she reaches out for the glass. I give her a questioning look, but she is quick to avert her eyes, keeping herself occupied by taking small gulps of water. Or maybe she just doesn't want me asking questions. Worrying. This sudden loss for words, this bout of quiet not normally present in our chats. Even the creaking of the old chair when I casually take a seat is a welcome break. Although the company is familiar, this has gone way past unnerving.
What happened? Overtime at work?
She doesn't answer immediately. Another gulp drains her glass of the remaining contents. One would think it would be enough to help her recover, yet she doesn't lose her taut grip on the glass as she cradles it to her lap. Her eyes take an unfocused gaze when she speaks again.
Yeah. Boss handed me extra work today. After what happened to Rose.
Rose? Why do I feel like you've mentioned her before?
She was our senpai, our original waifu who also got killed by the ghost.
Sorry, I'm better with remembering faces than names.
She was my coworker. That will take some getting used to. I was just talking to her the other day.
Was? Did she resign or something? I think I'm missing a few details here, Bella.
Zach, haven't you been watching the news?
You've never met her. I think I did mention her once or twice. It doesn't matter. You probably heard her name recently from the news than me.
Something clicks then. A little memory from the night before. The bright red light from the dark room, the strong odor of the stop bath, the television's barely audible murmur in the background, and a glimpse of a bloody room. The news is everywhere, even in the morning that follows. I just didn't think its effects will strike someone this close to me.
Oh. Damn. I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, like I said, it'll take some getting used to, but it'll get better. I hope it will. Things might become a little busier for me, though. She left a lot of things unfinished, and I'm one of the few people in the office who knows how she works.
You're not gonna tell him about the ghost?
Boss thinks the transition will be easier if I handle it.
That explains it. Well, just don't forget you still need rest. Even the most hardworking people I know don't keep hours as late as this. Hell, the subway stopped running hours ago. Crime rate might be lower here than most places, but that doesn't mean you can walk around freely in the middle of the night.
It's just for today.
Still a good thing you dropped by here first. I'm not just about to let you walk out here alone, especially not in the middle of the night. Who knows what else could happen? I'm not saying you should go right now, but I could accompany you home if you...
No! Wait, please!
Okay, she's really freaked out. The vehement tension in her voice makes me pause, and it's in this instant the mask she's been keeping on falls apart, if only for a short while. Right then and there, I understood what's hiding behind her unfocused stare from the moment she arrived. Fear. Pure, unadulterated fear. It's disturbing to see such marring her usual upbeat countenance. With a sigh, I cross a small distance separating us and kneel in front of her. She doesn't flinch when I do so. However, the way she appears to make herself smaller against the couch is telling enough.
Fella, this ain't just about your coworker, is it? What is it really about? I'm all ears.
The sound of glass shattering rents through the air as soon as her hold on it loosens. In the span of a few seconds, her breathing grows labored.
I don't know anymore.
She claps her hands over her ears, pressing it tightly against the sides of her head. Her voice grows weaker with each word, each plea coming out of her mouth.
Please don't leave me alone. I don't want to be alone right now. I can't shake it off. Everywhere's not safe and...
Alright, Isabella. Look at me.
My hands are firm on her shoulder when I pull her up to look at me. It takes every force of will to ignore the terror in her eyes in favor of taking control of the situation. Too close. Too similar.
Breathe. You're safe here. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Stay in the present. I'm here. No one's gonna hurt you. Do you want to talk about it?
The force with which she shakes her head is enough reason to drop the topic altogether.
No more. Please. No more. I don't want to remember anymore.
Kate, no more talking. I won't ask anymore. Can I get you anything? Another glass of water? I think I have a tub of that pistachio ice cream you love so much. We're gonna have to clean this mess first. Will you be fine on your own for a little while?
No, she will not. She nods lightly before retreating into herself again. No more words are exchanged after that, and I take that as my cue to start cleaning the shards littering the floor before either one of us can get hurt. The quiet hum of the AC is a pleasant distraction as I go over the menial task. More so than her ragged draws of breath or my little feeble attempts to tell a quick story or two. But the latter does the trick. And soon enough she has already drifted off by the time I return with the promised glass of water, her chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm, the strain on her shoulders gone. Frankly, I've never seen her this still. She mumbles something I don't quite catch when I carry her to the empty bed and hugs herself tighter against the mess of the blankets. In spite of the fact that she appears relaxed, the small frown on her face hasn't quite disappeared. Whatever happened to her won't be leaving her anytime soon. But for her sake, I hope it won't stay long with her. But no matter what promises I've made, this is the kind of fear no person could shield her from. I should know. There are still questions left to be answered, but the late hour coupled with the sudden exhaustion made my couch a more comfortable bed than it typically is. Darkness immediately welcomes me as soon as my head hits my makeshift pillow. I can only wish that the dreams will keep at a distance for now. For both of us. And that was this episode of The Letter, everyone. We finished up Hannah's chapter, although accidentally skipping the QTE. But whatever, she's alive, and that's a good thing. But somehow, maybe Luke's true colors finally revealed themselves? Question mark? Who knows? But whatever, we also started Zach's story, and now we're here comforting Lil Isabel. Like and subscribe for more episodes of The Letter. Once again, my name is Nez, and thanks for watching. See you all next time. Bye, everyone!